Hi, I am Eara Cayañga, a current 36YP student taking up the Master of Arts in Integrated Marketing Communication, and at the same time, I'm the Vice President for External Affairs of Catalyst of UA&P. Catalyst of UA&P is the only outreach, advocacy, and leadership organization of UA&P. We are geared towards providing opportunities for students to grow in the spirit of service. I think Catalyst is very special and very close to my heart, primarily because it grows in the spirit of others. As a student entering UA&P, I really wanted to grow in the spirit of service, but I didn't really know how to do so. So joining Catalyst of UA&P was my first step. And I entered as a marketing member, not knowing how to serve the university. I had very little knowledge about Photoshop and things alike. And from there, I really had to push myself with one goal in mind: to be able to help others. So whether that means making pub mats from Canva, starting from scratch, I was able to help the organization grow. And by my second year, I was promoted to become the Assistant Vice President for Marketing. So you can only imagine, from a person who didn't know anything, my purpose was able to fuel my passion. I was very passionate about helping people, and that's what Catalyst stands for. You're not really in it to give love to the community in the biggest ways possible, but rather be part of that small change in order for you to make bigger waves. Apart from that, Catalyst is really focused on ensuring that its members are given various opportunities. So in the pandemic, Catalyst didn't really stop. We had project after project, and when the pandemic eased down, we started going back to face-to-face operations. So we were able to hold Medical Mission 2021 face-to-face. And I think what makes giving love to the community so fulfilling is that you're really a part of something bigger than yourself, and your heart just becomes so warm because of the lives that you get to touch primarily. I think the biggest misconception that people have within loving the community is that you can't really love from an empty cup, if that makes sense. As a student of UA&P, we were kind of trained to really be of service to others in the smallest ways that we can. Giving love doesn't come in the biggest forms. It's not about how much you give, but how much love you pour in to what you do. So for example, in Catalyst, we start out in our subcommittees and then eventually become project heads, and we get to lead our own projects in the university. You get to really see how people grow in their spirit of service. More often than not, their purpose also fuels their passion. So not only do you get to touch the lives of the people you help, but you get to ingrain it in the minds of people that helping others is not about thinking about what you reap out of it, but more so what you can do to help others live better lives. And at least for me, it's not about how big your project is, but being able to stay consistent in the pursuit of helping others is what will truly make the biggest difference in our world. And we can start that here in our small campus in Ortigas, and eventually in other parts of the world. In Catalyst, we have this cliche saying called #BeTheChange. And as simple as that phrase may seem, it's actually one that holds great importance and has definitely made a big impact in my life. When you think of change, you think of something that is big. You think it's raising thousands of pesos. You think it's making sure that a project becomes successful. But for me, change is not only changing the lives of others, but ultimately changing yourself. Ever since I was young, I was one to be very passionate about helping others. Every Christmas, we would hold donation drives, and as a kid, it would be very easy for me to think that change comes in those big things: holding events, helping people get resources when they get hit by calamities. But change is really changing your perspective on how you view others. I think in this day and age, it's become very hard to be of service to others because we think of ourselves before anyone else, and that's the unfortunate reality of things. When I entered Catalyst, that's what they taught me. They taught me to put the lives of other people before oneself. My life motto has always been to start every day with a grateful heart. I think it's so important to start every day with a grateful heart because we tend to lose sight of how blessed we are as individuals, especially studying in this very prestigious university. So I think it's only important that individuals like me, someone who's privileged, someone who gets to receive this type of education, has to aim to be able to share it with others. So in Catalyst, we have several outreach projects wherein we aim to teach the less fortunate, someone who really does need it. Because what's the point of living in this world where education should be accessible and not being able to raise our hands out, and be of service to others. I think Catalyst's battle cry has always been "Be the change" because no change happens without someone acting. And I think as university students, it's very important that even though you're not part of Catalyst, really just to make sure that you become part of something bigger than yourself and you'll end up being fulfilled because your purpose here on earth is really to be able to help other people. And help has been said so much times in this video, but definitely a word that we need to ingrain in our minds and hearts because our passions and purpose, our hobbies and everything, we can contribute that to our society. And with that, Catalyst hopes to become part of your journey towards change.